Greetings, science explorers, and welcome back to our channel. You might run 10 kilometers daily and feel fantastic, while a widowmaker blockage grows silently inside you. Biology does not care how fast you can run because your body masks these dangers until the very second they stop your heart. Please comment the word healthy below right now to join our mission of proactive heart health as we reveal these hidden bombs. To understand why a healthy engine fails, we must strip away the chest wall and look at the muscle. Your heart demands more oxygen than almost any other tissue in your body to function properly every single day. To receive this vital oxygen, it relies on a complex network of vessels wrapped around it like a crown. Early anatomists called these coronary arteries, but you should think of them as the root system of a tree. If just one of those major roots is severed, the branch it supports will die almost instantly in minutes. We have two main players here known as the right coronary artery and the left coronary artery in the heart. The left artery branches into a massive vessel called the left anterior descending artery, which doctors call the LAD. In the emergency room, this specific vessel has a grim nickname known as the Widowmaker, for a reason. The reason for this name is simple geometry because the LAD supplies blood to the entire front of the heart. Specifically, it fuels the left ventricle, which is the main pumping chamber responsible for keeping your body alive. If you block a small twig on this system, you might only lose a single leaf in the process. However, if you block the main trunk, the whole tree falls and your heart stops pumping blood entirely. This leads to massive tissue death that occurs so rapidly that many victims never even reach the hospital door. But how does such a dangerous blockage form in someone who exercises daily and follows a strict, healthy routine? To understand this mystery, we must look closely at the vessel wall, which should be flexible like a hose. A healthy artery is supple like a brand new rubber garden hose, allowing blood to flow without any resistance. The inside lining is called the tunica intima, and in a perfect world, it should be smooth like Teflon. Blood cells are meant to slide right past this lining without any friction to maintain a healthy circulatory system. But life is not perfect, and over many decades, factors like high blood pressure can damage this lining. High blood sugar and smoking act like sandpaper on this delicate coating, causing microscopic scratches and deep, painful tears. Even the sheer mechanical stress of high-volume blood flow during decades of intense exercise can cause these small tears. This is where the trouble begins, as your body tries to repair these tiny scratches using its own defense system. It sends LDL cholesterol to the site like spackle to patch a hole in a wall that is leaking air. Then the immune system sends white blood cells to inspect the repair, and they eventually turn into hard foam cells. This hardened mixture of cholesterol and calcium is what we call plaque, which leads to the condition of atherosclerosis. This process happens silently over many years, without you ever feeling a single symptom of pain or discomfort. Now we must address the most dangerous misconception that often leads to tragedy. Most people imagine plaque buildup like a slow clog in a bathroom sink drain. They assume the pipe gets narrower and narrower until the water eventually stops. This sounds logical because we expect to feel short of breath or pain, but in the human body, this logic is actually quite biologically incorrect. Your arteries are far more adaptive than a simple metal pipe in your home. As the plaque grows, the artery wall actually stretches outward to accommodate the mass. This fascinating biological response is a process we call positive remodeling in the heart. Because the vessel stretches, the actual opening for blood flow remains perfectly clear. You could have a massive amount of plaque hiding within the artery wall itself. But since the tube remains 100% open, you feel zero symptoms. This is why you can run a 10-kilometer race and feel absolutely fantastic. The blood still reaches its destination, so your brain never receives a warning signal. This hidden danger explains a grim statistic regarding modern heart disease. For 50% of men and 64% of women, the first symptom is death. They feel completely fine until the very second they suffer a fatal cardiac event. It is not the slow narrowing of a pipe that usually kills the heart flow. Instead, it is the sudden shift from a silent plaque to a total blockage. So you might wonder what flips the switch on this invisible ticking bomb. It comes down to the stability of the plaque deposit within your arterial wall. Imagine that a silent plaque deposit is like a blister covered by thin skin. This is what doctors call soft plaque, which is filled with inflammatory gunk. If you experience a spike in blood pressure, the thin skin can tear. This rupture causes contents to spill directly into your active bloodstream. Imagine that thin skin covering the silent plaque, tearing open like a blister. The body panics and sees this rupture as a massive open wound inside. It immediately sends platelets to the site to form a life-saving clot. This is perfect if you cut your finger while cooking in the kitchen. But inside your coronary artery, this defense mechanism becomes a very deadly trap. In minutes, the clot grows and completely seals the entire blood flow path. It is not the slow buildup of plaque that kills the flow today. Instead, it is the sudden and rapid formation of a massive blood clot. It acts like a cork in a wine bottle hitting a brick wall. This is what medical professionals call a type 1 myocardial infarction event. If you find this breakdown of heart mechanics helpful for your own health, please comment the number 1 below so we know to keep sharing this. But there is another scenario that often strikes endurance athletes pushing their limits. This is the type 2 myocardial infarction, which works through a different biology. Consider a 50-year-old disciplined runner named Robert with normal cholesterol levels. While running a race, he does not feel any crushing or heavy pain. He just feels weird as his energy drops, and he feels very lightheaded. He thinks he is dehydrated, but his heart cells are actually dying fast. Doctors find a protein called troponin in his blood during the medical exam. Think of troponin like the glowing liquid inside a common plastic glow stick. As long as the plastic casing is intact, the liquid stays safely inside. But if you snap the stick, the liquid leaks out into the world. Heart muscle cells are full of troponin, and they leak when they die. Robert is having a heart attack with only a 50% blockage present. This is a supply and demand problem occurring deep within the heart muscle. While sitting on a couch, a 50% blockage is mostly quite irrelevant. The hose is crimped, but enough water gets through to the green grass. But when Robert's heart rate spikes, his heart demands a fire hose volume. The crimped artery can only deliver a small garden hose worth of blood. This creates ischemia as the heart muscle starts to suffocate without enough oxygen. In Robert's case, there was an extra factor called atrial fibrillation or AFib. Your heart runs on an electrical grid, creating a coordinated and strong squeeze. In AFib, the top chambers stop beating and start quivering in total chaos. This electrical mess ruins the timing of the heart's essential and rhythmic pumping. If you combine a partial blockage with the rapid heartbeat of an AFib, you create the perfect storm, where the heart cannot sustain the required pace. This highlights the 70% threshold for feeling physical symptoms of heart disease. Generally, you will not feel chest pain until an artery is significantly blocked. Below that, mark your heart is very good at compensating for the loss. Above that mark, you might feel tightness when walking up the steep stairs. We call this stable angina, which is like your body's check engine light. But remember, most heart attacks occur with less than 50% blockage present. If you cannot feel the danger, is there any good news for us? Your heart has a secret backup system called collateral circulation for extra safety. Think of your main arteries as interstates carrying very heavy traffic loads daily. If a jam persists for years, your heart paves new and small streets. This creates a natural bypass system to get blood around any major blockage. Exercise like Zone 2 training builds the network that buys you more time. In a younger person, the rupture is sudden and the highway shuts down. There are no side streets yet and no way around the total blockage. This is why a 70-year-old might survive a very massive event. The older heart had time to build those detours through many active years. In the emergency room, we always say that time is muscle tissue today. Irreversible damage begins in 20 minutes and turns into permanent scar tissue fast. Recognizing the symptoms of a failing heart is your first defense. Men usually experience what we call the classic Hollywood heart attack. They feel an intense pressure like an elephant sitting on chest. This is often accompanied by a sharp pain in the arm. But for women, the signs are much more insidious and quiet. They may feel extreme fatigue or a sudden shortness of breath. Some women even experience intense acid reflux or a sense of doom. If you find this information life-saving for you or others, please take a moment now to subscribe to Senior Max 1 today. By joining us, you help spread this vital medical knowledge further. Remember that in the emergency room, we say time is muscle. Irreversible damage to the heart begins in only 20 short minutes. By 90 minutes, the dying heart tissue turns into permanent scar. Scar tissue does not pump, which leaves the heart permanently weakened. If the plumbing fails, cardiologists must perform a procedure called PCI. They thread a thin tube through your wrist to find jams. Using a special dye, they locate the site of the blockage. They then inflate a balloon to smash the plaque away forever. Once the path is clear, they deploy a permanent metal stent. Think of this as a metal mesh scaffold for your artery. It holds the vessel open to ensure blood flows without restriction. This mechanical fix is a miracle of modern cardiovascular medicine today. It restores the flow, but it cannot fix the dead muscle. That is why detecting the fire before it burns is essential. Part 6. Advanced Screening and Your Path to Prevention. Standard blood work only tells you the ingredients in your blood. It does not tell you if they are sticking to walls. You need better data to find the fire before it burns. The first screening tool is the coronary calcium or CAC score. This 5-minute scan looks for hardened calcium in your vessels. A score of 0 is perfect, while high scores signal danger. If you are finding these screening tips useful for your health, please comment the words Max 1 below to show your support. Knowing these numbers is the only way to avoid sudden tragedy. But hardened calcium is only one part of the biological story. The CT angiogram is the ultimate early warning system available now. It allows doctors to see the soft and unstable plaques clearly. These are the invisible blisters that have not yet hardened. They are the most prone to popping and causing sudden death. A CT angiogram gives you a full map of your plumbing. The healthy heart attack is almost always a tragedy of ignorance. You cannot manage what you do not measure with proper tech. Do not guess about your health when you can truly know. Prevention is the only way to avoid becoming a grim statistic. You must control your blood pressure to stop the mechanical tearing. Manage your blood sugar to prevent inflammation within your delicate vessels. Keep your body moving to build that essential collateral circulation network. Exercise like Zone 2 training builds the detours that buy time. High-intensity interval training also helps force these new vessels' growth. Final conclusion. The legacy of a proactive heart. Your heart is a resilient engine, but it has its limits. Biology does not care about your intentions or your fitness level. It only cares about the mechanical integrity of your arterial walls. By understanding the Widowmaker, you take power back from fear. Use the scans available to find the hidden bombs before they. Take charge of your blood pressure and your metabolic health now. The difference between a survivor and a statistic is often knowledge. A 70-year-old survives because they built detour side streets. A young athlete falls because their highway was suddenly shut down. Build your backup systems through consistent movement and proper testing today. Your heart has worked for you since before you were born. Now it is time for you to work for your heart. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into science. We hope this knowledge empowers you to live a long life. Stay curious about your biology and stay vigilant about your health. The technology exists to save you if you choose to use. Check your heart and protect your future, starting right this second. We will see you in the next exploration of human health. We have traveled from the silent dangers of the Widowmaker to the advanced scans. You now understand that fitness is not a total shield against arterial plaque buildup. A healthy lifestyle is essential, but it must be paired with accurate biological data. The heart can mask a 90% blockage until the very second it fails. By managing blood pressure and monitoring your internal plumbing, you take control today. Knowledge is the ultimate tool in preventing a tragedy caused by silent ignorance. Experts emphasize that you must look beyond the surface of your daily fitness routines. Exercise builds collateral circulation, but it cannot erase all existing soft plaque deposits alone. Focus on reducing systemic inflammation and keeping your blood sugar in check every single day. Use technology like the calcium score to see what your blood work misses. The goal is finding the fire before the entire house burns to the ground. Be proactive about your cardiovascular health to ensure a long and vibrant future now. Please remember that all information shared here is for educational and reference purposes only. This content is not a substitute for professional medical advice from a licensed doctor. If you have any health concerns, you must visit a hospital for an exam. Our channel is a place for reference and not a substitute for health experts. Always follow the specific advice of your medical provider for your unique personal needs. Taking care of your heart requires a professional partnership with qualified medical professionals today. We want to thank you for accompanying us through this deep dive into biology. Your heart has worked for you since before birth, so protect its future today. Please comment your thoughts on your current health so our lives get better. We hope this knowledge helps you strive for health so our lives get better. Every single day, we are here to support your journey toward a stronger heart. Share your story with us in the comments section below to help others. Managing your health is a lifelong commitment that requires both action and accurate data. Do not rely on feeling fine as your only metric for heart health success. Use the screening tools and lifestyle changes we discussed to protect your arterial walls. Your future self will thank you for being vigilant and proactive about your biology. Stay curious about how your body works and keep learning with us every week. Together we can build a community that values long-term health and wellness.